Introducing Instagram Teen Accounts, a new way to keep your teen safer as they grow. Like making sure they always have their seatbelt on.
All right, sweetie pie, buckle up. Good job.
Or ring the bell on their bike.
Okay, kid, give it a try. Nice.
Or remember their elbow pads.
Knees too, okay? Yep. There you go.
New Instagram Teen Accounts. Automatic protections for who can contact your teen and the content they can see.
This is VSiN PrimeTime. Live from the Circus Sportsbook in downtown Las Vegas on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Hour 4 of VSiN Primetime alongside Jonathan Von Tobel. I'm Tim Murray. We're live from the Circus Sportsbook in downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. The Los Angeles Lakers are going to win and cover over the Dallas Mavericks, and they are going to inch closer to getting the number 3 seed in the Western Conference playoffs. I believe they would be one win away from clinching it because they have the tiebreakers over everyone else.
I'll let you put your reputation on the line with that one.
I think they would be. They have the tiebreaker. Regardless, they're closer. How about that? We'll leave it at that.
I only say that because it's all a complete mess.
They're closer to getting the 3 seed.
How about this?
Yes.
He checks out of the game.
Luka Doncic.
And loud chants of Luka from the home court. Oh, wait, no. The
visiting court.
The arena of the opposition. How about that?
Luka Doncic, final stat line tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, point total was 30.5. 45 points, 31 of which came in the first half, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, a game. Actually, it wasn't a game best plus minus because Dorian Finney-Smith actually had a game best plus 29, but plus 27 for Luka Doncic, and the Los Angeles Lakers are going to walk out of Dallas with a 112-97 victory, it looks like here, as looks like Bronny James now in the game, and a nice pass to his fellow rookie, Dalton Knecht. Remember when Dalton Knecht was going to win Rookie of the Year, JVT?
After like 2 games?
What happened to that? This is his first action of the night. He gets a dunk there in garbage time. Should the Lakers have taken that trade?
What's that? The trading away the Dalton Knecht?
Yeah. No,
the Mavericks should have traded. They should have gotten Austin Reeves back in the deal for Luka Doncic. Like, whatever. It's all water under the bridge at this point.
Well, the thing that Bill Simmons continues to harp on is that the San Antonio Spurs had the chance to offer Austin Reeves a deal that the Lakers could not have matched.
Yeah.
And they did not do it. And now he's part of, as Rick Kamala said, maybe the best trio in the NBA. He said he gives a lean to Brown, Tatum, and Porzingis. But regardless, it's gone final. Lakers a win and cover, 112-97. They had lost said lead in the fourth quarter. They wrap it up, though. They get the win. They improved to now 49-31. And Luka Doncic brought the tears in pregame with the welcome back video as he embraces his former teammates there in Dallas. 45 points for Luka Doncic in the victory. LeBron James had 27 points as well as the Lakers cruised to victory. Anthony Davis goes well under his total of points. I believe that was 26.5. He was held to 13. And Klay Thompson had an early 3, only 6 points in the game. So the Dallas Mavericks are going to be in the play-in. As what are you laughing at?
I just want, like, he's hugging all these guys, like all these former teammates.
They're like,
right?
Man, I wish you were still on this team.
Right, that's what I'm laughing at. You know, like he's hugging Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington, and they were like talking for a bit while they're embracing. Like, what do you think they're saying to each other? Like, man, this sucks, dude. We were in the finals last year. Remember that? Like, what the hell?
Then Kyrie popped his Achilles. He tear his ACL or Achilles? ACL, right?
ACL.
Yeah. That's a weird one. Anthony Davis, like, hey, man, you enjoying Los Angeles?
That place sucks.
112-97, the final score there. All right, let's run down what we've seen so far tonight. Big win for the Philadelphia 76ers, ladies and gentlemen. 122-103, snapping their 12-game winning streak and clinching the under win total. For me, JVT, the sharp guy that he is, already brought it home. The Chicago Bulls, a 105-95 lead right now over the Miami Heat. This is the battle for ninth place, JVT. The winner, of course, would not the winner. The teams are, hey, Mark Cuban's still the owner? I know I'm kind of all over the place, but Mark Cuban on the floor. He was
I think he has some sort of role with the team, but no, he's not the owner anymore.
It's interesting. Patrick Mahomes is there. But the Chicago Bulls right now, they and the Heat have identical records at 36 and 43, so they're battling to see who will host the play-in game. What is that, Tuesday night, Wednesday night?
Yeah, probably Tuesday, Wednesday, right? And then the final games on Thursday, Friday, and then the series overall start usually on Saturday, if I remember correctly.
By the way, let's jump to another game, JVT, of later on tonight. We've talked about the Clippers a bunch this evening. Clippers, as you mentioned, no Norm Powell tonight, but the Clippers laying, we'll call it 10. There is a 9.5 out there right now at Circa. This game will tip off at 10:40 Eastern Time, 7:40 Pacific. Clippers at home, laying 10 against the Houston Rockets, who have locked up the 2 seed. So this is a Houston team that has nothing to play for. Clippers have a lot to play for. That said, as you pointed out a little bit, is this a situation where maybe this number is too inflated?
I mean, I think usually these numbers are. That's the side I would gravitate towards, is like dog or pass in these games down the stretch where guys are resting and other team has motivation. It's an extended version of Week 18 in the NFL, where you have teams that rest and other teams have nothing to play, and they have nothing to play for, all these sort of things, and the market overreacts. Clippers have plenty to play for. They're starting to get into form. Rockets have rested everybody. So I think I would tend to lean a little bit toward taking the points. Remember, this is the second leg of back-to-back, and Clippers didn't cover a big number last night.
Yep.
So here they are again laying 9.5.
Yeah, so that game tipping off a little bit later on this evening. Still to come, as we mentioned a bunch, the first game without Michael Malone, as the Sacramento Kings are catching 4.5 at home against the Denver Nuggets. JVT, this is going to be a bet for you. You are in on the light the beam Sacramento Kings at home catching 4.5 against the Denver Nuggets.
Oh, yeah, baby. Let's go. Come on. Stay inside of the number. This is going to be on ESPN. Everybody's going to be watching. Show these Nuggets what it's all about, being a real team.
San Antonio and
at each other.
Golden State. San Antonio, Golden State laid 17.5, and then Oklahoma City and Phoenix.
I think you're on 17. You laid 17.5, right? With Golden State.
Did not. No.
No late night NBA action for you?
No, I'm just I'm good, man. I'm basking in the victory of the Washington Lizards, getting our win total under. So that was lovely. Had as my season long Cincinnati Reds bet is it's been a fun one so far. How many games have they lost? 1-0? 3-0.
They lost three
straight,
in a row.
1-0, and they won the other day 1-0. Lost tonight via a walk-off bomb from Mike Yastrzemski. So it's been a roller coaster so far. Come on, Reds, let's button it up. Let's get it better here. Let's get it rolling here. As for Major League Baseball, in the ninth inning, Phillies and Braves tied at 3, and the Brewers right now an 8-2 lead over the Colorado Rockies. Those are the only 2 games left on the baseball card, JVT, as a lot of day games, a lot of getaway days here on this Wednesday in Major League Baseball.
Got a lot of people taking shots at me for no reason. I got people sending me Anthony Rendon memes. I don't need that. This is a team that's moved on.
It's my guy. Tony Two Bags.
Right. I think that's as many bags as he's gotten as an Angel player. There's 2 total bases in his entire Angels career.
The funny thing is, when you look at the Washington Nationals, the decision they had to make was to re-sign Rendon or to re-sign Steven Strasburg. Both were terrible options because Steven Strasburg, I think, pitched like 10 more games.
Strasburg cared, though.
Yeah. I mean, hey, World Series MVP. Never forget. 2019. It was a great year. Maybe the Nationals, hey, took 2 of 3 from the Dodgers, baby. Take that, Dodgers. Not my defending champs. Taking them down, baby. Paul Bovey chimed back in. He said, better? Last 20 games, Lakers plus 59. And LeBron is a minus 41. Is that right? I mean, I'll take his word for it.
Yeah.
Luka, by the way, a plus 81. Scoring is there, so it has to be on the other end. ... Right?
Yeah, I mean, again, I would ask you to watch Luka on defense with your eyes and tell me that he's a good defender. We can criticize LeBron for wanting it, but or for not playing very good defensive basketball. But I think it's very clear that Luka does have some work to do, especially when he's targeted by certain opponents. We'll see what this looks like in the postseason. Very excited. That's why the postseason is the best because you do get the matchup importance. The X's and O's really matter. Teams hunt mismatches. They go after it constantly. Very much excited to see what this Lakers defense looks like when it gets tested and stressed out.
Trey Turner, yard. Solo homer to left in the top of the sixth, and the Phillies now have a 4-3 lead over the Atlanta Braves as Trey Turner gives them that 4-3 lead there in the top of the ninth inning. So a NL East battle, and the Braves trying to avoid just falling to 2-9 on the year as the Phillies take a 4-3 lead in the top of the eighth inning. Phillies, by the way, went off as around a plus 130 dog in this game at some shops. So Phillies trying to pull the quote upset tonight down there in Atlanta as the Braves. At what point, JVT, do we look at either buying the Braves or realizing maybe this is a pretty flawed team in the NL East? This is a team that I believe was the betting favorite to win this division, right? Coming into the year. And right now, the Braves are plus 240.
I don't know. I don't think they're flawed. I think there's still plenty of baseball left to be played, and I wouldn't freak out too much about that being an actual thing. I think they're going to be fine. So,
and they played the Dodgers on the road.
I was going to say their schedule was brutal.
Yeah. So, look, the start of the season for the Braves was not easy. Outside of playing the Marlins, where they had a rain out too, so they went 1-1. I mean, look, they started 0-7. That's atrocious. But the teams they lost to were the Padres and the Dodgers, who are a combined 20-7 right now. So yeah, not maybe a buy low spot on the Atlanta Braves, but it looks like they will. We'll see. They are losing in the top of the ninth inning. Hey, just a reminder, part of that VSiN Pro summer special we're running over at VSiN.com, where you can get the VSiN Pro subscription for just $59 all the way through August 1st, including our betting splits, both DraftKings and Circa. You can check it out, which way the public is betting, where the sharps are coming in. VSiN.com/subscribe, one of the many perks you get as a VSiN Pro subscriber. Our VSiN summer special, $59. Check it out, VSiN.com/subscribe. The Masters gets going in just a couple of hours. We'll give you our thoughts next.
This is VSiN Primetime on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
It is VSiN Primetime as we are underway in Sacramento. The Denver Nuggets with an early 3 to take a 3-0 lead over those Sacramento Kings. We're in the bottom of the ninth in Atlanta. Trey Turner just hit a solo homer for the Phils to give them a 4-3 lead. But Ozzie Albies, it looked like I thought that was going to be a double, but it was foul. So that game right now, bottom of the ninth inning for the Phillies and Atlanta Braves. The Lakers a winner earlier this evening, or actually just went final, as Luka Doncic went absolutely nuclear in that victory against his former team. First game back in Dallas since the trade, and the victory goes to the Los Angeles Lakers by a final of 112-97. Luka Doncic finishes with 45 points in the win there for the Los Angeles Lakers, as the Lakers now 49-31, and they remain in third place in the Western Conference with that win. 2 games to go for the Lakers this season, and a really strong performance from Los Angeles, considering they were coming off of a back-to-back, they were playing in a back-to-back 3 and 4 days, including 2 games against Oklahoma City. They're off tomorrow. They will play on Friday night against Houston in L.A. Houston, by the way, playing tonight at 10:40 Eastern time against the Los Angeles Clippers, so they will get to stay in L.A. JVT, by the way, is part of, and I saw the tweet earlier today, some of the teams that are part of this Masters draft that is going on, and your teammate is Doug Kazarian, who is being very positive, keeping you uplifted because you are not there right now. Not bugging you at all.
Yeah, very true. I'm trying to be a professional here, but also I'm trying to draft here as well, So we're trying to we're trying to multitask at this.
Feels like we're back in late August when we're when you find out from your buddies, you're like, hey, I want to do the fantasy draft. You're like, I can't. I'm on the air then.
Yeah.
So, who have you gotten so far?
Luis Oberg, Will Zalatoris, Justin Rose. We just selected.
That's your guy, Justin Rose.
Yeah.
So how does this? How many teams are there? Because there's Humans is in it. Wes Reynolds is a part of it.
I believe we have 10 in this round. The way it works, it's a snake draft, and I don't know how many were. I have to look back. I think it's 5 now because there's 10 folks, 10 teams at least. You have to draft golfers. You want at least 5 to make the cut, and then your top 5 scores, your 5 best scores. They're compiled. And then that's how you determine the winner of the draft.
So that's nothing to do with betting odds or anything like that. Okay.
And I believe you get a bonus of some sort, I should say, if you get the winner correct on your team. So if you have the winner on your team, you do get a bonus.
Have you been part of this before?
Oh, yeah. I placed in a Masters draft like 3 years ago or so. I don't know if they stopped doing it or if I just wasn't invited because they don't like me. But I don't think they've done it for a little bit now. But, yes, I did finish – I think 3rd and got my money back in one. I think it was a Masters draft a few years ago.
Okay.
Takes place at a local watering hole.
All right, so you got Oberg on the squad. You got Justin Rose on the squad. That's a JVT pick. Anyone else you're targeting?
Quite a few guys that are still on the list. I think my guy Doug wants Tony Finau, which
where he be now.
So we'll see. Finau's got some really good course history here. If you look at it amongst like some of the guys that have really strong course history over short spans, there's a couple of guys out here who have done pretty well. So we'll see. Nikolai Hogard, I think, is also maybe worth targeting. It's a small sample size, but in 4 rounds, he's done pretty well. Cam Young has done pretty well too. And then you get to some of these other guys like Tom Kim, maybe. We'll see.
By the way, looking at the futures board out there, DraftKings, Colin Morikawa continues to creep up that futures board. He's not going to catch Rory or Scotty Scheffler, but right now, Colin Morikawa, who I was able to grab earlier this week, and I certainly didn't get the best number. I think I have him at 16-1, and he's now at 13-1 at DraftKings. So that's been on the move here. What was also interesting to note, and I'm curious, I'm going to pull it up right now, was Rory McIlroy. And we talked about this with Kelly Bidlin earlier in the show because we all know that he has been trying to get the Grand Slam for going on a decade here, has yet to win at Augusta. And it feels like a lot of people believe that this is going to be the time he finally gets it done. I think I saw Jeff Sherman give a quote earlier, and he was on Follow the Money as well. But looking at the Circa odds right now, I noticed they had drifted up. They were at plus 725 earlier today. Looks like they got a little bit of buyback, but still 7-1 on Rory McIlroy. So if you are believing in Rory, even at a short price, Circa would be the best place for you to attack Rory McIlroy, and some reasonable prices on top 5 and top 10. I played all 3, so I'm sure I'll be hating myself when it comes to Rory. But you are not so in on Rory this week, are you, JVT?
I just wonder about the elbow thing, but it's not to an extent that I'm like. Right, I just don't think. I think that price is a little short. There's a lot of smart golf people that are really buying in. So I would not take my opinion as a Bible here, but not really at the price. And then with some questions about how healthy the elbow is, I think those are the 2 things that worry me at where he's priced right now.
Since 2014, he has finished top 10 7 times. However, T22 just a year ago and missed the cut in 2023. So recent form would tell you there could be some issues there for Rory McIlroy. Has been playing good golf, and a lot of folks out there that you listen to, that you respect their opinions, seem to believe that this could be the time for Rory. I think Wes Reynolds has a top 10 on him. There's I think minus $1.35 price at Circa on him to finish in the top 10. So we'll see if Rory can get it done. John Rahm, certainly someone from Live that I think I saw Wes Reynolds in his write-up had John Rahm as one of his outrights out there. So who are some of the golfers that you've got on the card heading into the Masters tomorrow?
Right now, let me log in. I've added a couple already since we've been talking about this. I know for sure, like Justin Rose is on my card. Tell you right now, pull up my betting slips. All right, so on the card we have, that's the Sacramento Kings, Hideki Matsuyama, Cam Young, Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Rose. Those are the guys that I have so far on outright. So Rose at about 115-1. Tommy
got some
Fleetwood,
long shots there, man.
Yeah, 30-1. Young's at 125, and then Matsuyama's at 25. So I got two two guys that are kind of up there, then two longer shots with some pretty decent course history. So we'll see. Rose, I think, is really intriguing. I mean, again, the course history is really there. I'll reiterate, in terms of true strokes gained over the career in 66 rounds, I think it is. He's top 10 in terms of true strokes gained. He's played well at Augusta. We all remember the playoff with Sergio. And it's a putter that can get hot. I've used him on a couple of Masters before, but he's a dude that is capable of winning here. So I would very much recommend it because I bet it. So let's go, Justin Rose.
What's your kind of mentality when it comes to golf betting, especially majors? Do you incorporate some top 5s and top 10s and top 20s depending on what golfer you've got, or are you just all in on an outright?
I like to play some outrights in a couple of matchups. I think that's it.
Okay.
What about you?
I like to, if I like a guy, so Morikawa and McIlroy, Sepp Straka, all guys that I took a little bit of a long shot on. Well, Straka's a long shot. Morikawa and McIlroy are not long shots, obviously, but I like to play top 10s and top 5s. It just, look, hitting a golf outright, I know Wes has hit 4 of them this year, but it ain't easy, man, and it's a sweat. But having a top 10 out there, a top 5, it feels, to me, it feels a little bit more. And matchups, I agree with too. It feels a little bit more like a game, right? Where you're laying -110, -115, maybe you're getting a little bit of a plus price. But for me, especially in the majors, look, I am not, and I'm pretty transparent about it. I am not Kelly Bidlin or Matt Brown or Wes Reynolds or Humans or you even, honestly. I listen to smart people, throw a couple bets out there, and let's roll with them here in the Masters. So those are the guys I am riding with here for the Masters. It'll be Rory, it'll be Morikawa, and it'll be Sepp Straka. I did take a little Justin Thomas to finish top 20. And then lastly, we'll see. Max Homa, I did play to miss the cut, but I felt like there was a lot of push on Max Homa to miss the cut this week. So we'll see if that is maybe too popular of a play. By the way, if you do like Homa to miss and you're here in Nevada, it looks like Stations Casino has the best price at -$1.30. I think other shops are upwards like $1.50, $1.55 or somewhere in that range out there. So Max Homa, someone I am fading here, and hopefully that comes home as Max Homa does not make the cut.
I hope you hit it.
Yeah, it'd be nice. All right, quick update from where we sit in Denver, actually in Sacramento. Denver out to a 12-7 lead. You're screwed, JVT. There's no swings in NBA.
I was going to say, isn't that 4? My math is terrible. It's 5.
Yeah, so 12-7 is the score right now. Denver with the early lead in their first game without Michael Malone as their head coach. We'll keep you updated on this contest here as it unfolds in Sacramento. Hey, folks, just a reminder, Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today, edgeboost.bet. Use this promo code PRIME, deposit $25, and Edge Boost will match the deposit. Once again, edgeboost.bet. We'll update you on all of the NBA action. Still have one game to tip off as the Los Angeles Clippers are hosting the Houston Rockets. It is VSiN Primetime.
This is VSiN Primetime on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
It is VSiN Primetime here on this Wednesday evening, the eve of the Masters.
Very excited.
Hello, friends. 10-2, the Brewers all over the Colorado Rockies. Of course, the most important thing going on tonight involving a team from Denver. Oh, the Denver Nuggets are playing their first game without Michael Malone, and they lead 23-18 right now in that contest. On the road do the Denver Nuggets. Live line, if you're wondering, in Denver and Sacramento, Nuggets -6.5. Warriors out to a strong start over the Spurs. Remember, that was the biggest spread of the night, 17.5, and they're out to a 24-17 lead right now. Live line sits at 19.5. Suns and Thunder tied at 20. That one at the media timeout there with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. So 4 games going on right now across the NBA. Still to come tonight, Rockets and Clippers. Clippers, I'll call it a consensus 10-point favorite. There is a 9.5 out there. A couple of interesting games tomorrow, no doubt, as the Cleveland Cavaliers take on the Indiana Pacers in a spot that looks like, based off the spread, do we know that Cleveland is benching everybody in this one, as the Pacers are a 9-point favorite tomorrow night, JVT, against the Cavs?
Yeah, Kelly came on and talked about that. I think it's a good spot to look there, too, because I think that they are more than willing to punt this thing. They don't have anything to play for, so it's time to just get ready for the postseason. Let me double-check the injury report, because I think that they already have officially listed pretty much everybody here, at least with a questionable tag. Cavaliers tomorrow, Darius Garland out, Donovan Mitchell out, Evan Mobley out, Max Strus out.
Yeah. 9-point favorite. So once again, I know we've talked about this a bunch. Is that a situation where it's gone too far, or based off of Pacers can lock up the 4 seed with a win and the Cavaliers are done in the sense that they've got the 1 seed? Is this a spot we look to lay the Pacers even at a price that is 9?
I think you want to get ahead of it, like the overnight price. I think we saw some spots open 8.5. You might want to try to get on. If you're going to bet some of these favorites, you want to bet them quick on the overnights, because they're going to start to balloon. But Pacers are a team that are, I think, willing to do this. So in terms of try to get this done.
Even though the Pacers, last night were 17 and a half? Was it 19 and a half?
They were 19-point favorites. Yeah, 19 and a half in some spots. Almost lost the game.
Yeah, I mean, they needed to come back to win that one. So a light slate tomorrow night, 5 games on the NBA card. The most intriguing game tomorrow night, though, no doubt, Minnesota at Memphis. Minnesota at Memphis. How does this Minnesota team respond after just a catastrophe last night against the Milwaukee Bucks? I know we've referenced it a bunch, but you wonder, all right, you're up 95-71 on the road at Milwaukee. You're in this entrenched battle between everybody. You're trying to avoid the play-in, and you squander that lead. You lose 110-103. Now you're playing a Memphis team that you very well could see in the play-in tournament. And right now it is a pick'em between Minnesota and Memphis. Total right now sitting at 232.5. And you've actually seen a little bit of movement, JVT, towards the Memphis Grizzlies at some shops. DraftKings actually opened Memphis -1. That's where it sits right now. And it looks like Circa opened at pick. So not a ton of movement, but a wee bit at some shops, maybe offshore, where actually you saw Minnesota open as a favorite. But that one should be an interesting one tomorrow night. Memphis and Minnesota with a lot on the line there. Detroit and New York. Also Detroit trying, more than likely not going to grab it, but could, as they play their final 2 games of the season against the Milwaukee Bucks. Detroit on the road at New York. Both those teams trying to lock up their playoff positions. New York more than likely going to be the 3 seed right now. The Knicks catching 5 on the road against the Detroit Pistons tomorrow night. In a
maybe playoff preview. Yeah. We can't wait to see it. So, look, I think both teams are somewhat solidly locked in. These are games that I think it's easy to kind of scratch off, right? Do you want to get involved with 2 teams where the motivation, I think, is in real question as to who's going to play, what the rotations are going to be, and what the motivation is. Like, here's the thing, their dirty secret down the stretch in the last 4 days of the regular season, you don't have to bet a ball.
Yep.
And I think that's one that is very much worth watching, but scratching off, because I just don't know what the motivation is for either guy at this point.
Yeah, make sure
either team, I should say.
Once again, make sure you know the scenarios, what they need to clinch, how this is going to all play out. We know in the Eastern Conference, all the teams that are going to be in the playoffs, right? There's no team, the Toronto Raptors, your Toronto Raptors, good win for your Raptors tonight. The Toronto Raptors can't catch the Heat, right?
Yep.
Right now, the Heat are sitting in 10th. The Hawks and the Bulls are with 37 wins, so there's jockeying for position there. The Magic have a very slight chance to catch the Pistons. They're not locked into the 7. Seems likely they will be. Pistons and Bucks, there's an opportunity out there maybe for the Pistons to grab the Bucks as they finish up the season with back-to-back games against each other. But just know the situations, and maybe you look at some teams that, the Wizards, for example. I know I saw a bunch of people, speaking of Matt Moore, you talked about Matt Moore. He was on with Zach Lowe, one of his best bets last night. I think I saw a couple other people. Love the Wizards plus the points. You almost got an outright win as a 19.5-point dog. So, the Wizards, for example, I'm happy that we were able to cash the win total tonight, because who the hell knows what the motivation is for the Bulls or the Heat on Sunday in that spot where the Heat more than likely will probably know what their fate is for the play-in tournament.
Yep. I can't wait to see what these playing teams are going to look like, what these matchups are going to be. But some of these teams, I think at this point, I'm not really too interested in backing as we kind of hit the home stretch here. It's more about seeing what kind of form they're in and how they're going to match up with each other. If they're playing an opponent, that's the other part. You mentioned the Knicks and the Pistons. I mean, it's an opponent you could face.
Yeah.
What are you going to show?
You going to show much?
Yeah, you're going to show. What are you going to show here in the next few days, especially when you're trying to get ready for a postseason run?
By the way, a shout out to Mitch Moss, who one of his best bets earlier tonight on Follow the Money was Josh Giddey, who sat out the night prior, right? He was off the night before for the Chicago Bulls. He went out there tonight. He got his 7th triple-double of the season. Mitch bet over 35.5 points, rebounds, assists, and Josh Giddey went out, dropped 28 points, 16 boards, and 11 assists. So that was a pretty easy over there for Mitch. All things coming up, Mitch, lately on.
Thanks for reminding me. Definitely wanted to remember that one.
So JVT, when you think back to the blackjack table, what exactly happened?
Yeah, no, right. The thing that happened was I told Mitch I liked Florida, and then he undercut me, kneecapped me, took my idea.
Think they would have lasted till 5?
I mean, given the way that thing went, maybe.
So remind me. So it was Duke 1, then Mitch was at 2. He went Florida.
Yep.
3 was
1, 2, 3. So 1. Say again. So 1 was Duke, 2 was Florida, 3 was Alabama, 4 was Texas Tech, 5 was me, Auburn.
Yeah. How about Texas Tech today? By the way, JT Toppin coming back.
There you go. I mean, I think that makes some sense.
He was like a fringe first-round pick. I saw Jeff Goodman pointed out. I mean, look, NIL has a lot of wackiness to it and negativity, but I think there are some positives. And, you know, we've seen a handful of folks at Donovan Dent reportedly getting $3 million to go to UCLA. That's kind of cool, right? Was it not a very highly recruited kid out of Irvine? Was it Irvine, Riverside? One of those towns in California. Don't get mad at me. Went to New Mexico, won Mountain West Player of the Year, and now he got the bag to go to UCLA. So there's some shadiness, no doubt, but there's also some pretty neat stories. I mean, look, at the national championship, Walter Clayton Jr., MOP, guy started at Iona and ends up winning MOP for Florida and having some of the more iconic moments of the NCAA tournament this year. But JT Toppin, big news there for Texas Tech, who apparently has got some cash to throw around there. They got the
like everybody does.
They got the Stanford edge rusher who went in the portal. That was a pretty big coup there for Texas Tech. They got the old they got the funds back in there.
Head coach of the Stanford Cardinal, Frank Reich. Very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you in on Stanford this year? Frank Reich and Andrew Luck?
Yeah,
that's your guys.
No, I'm good.
They also just lost their best wide receiver to the portal, so not an ideal offseason there for the old Stanford Cardinal as Andrew Luck takes that thing over from as the general manager and Troy Taylor out, Frank Reich in for 1 year. All right, closing seconds of the first quarter in Sacramento, and the Denver Nuggets have a 33-25 lead over the Sacramento Kings. Your live number right now has the Denver Nuggets as an 8.5-point favorite. The Warriors up by 4 on the San Antonio Spurs. That one early in the second quarter. 32-28 the score there. And the Suns up to a 10-point lead. Is this the time? We don't even have the game on in studio. We need to get it on. But Suns up 7 at the end of the first quarter. Do we grab the Thunder now? You don't have eyes on this game, so that would be a blind bet. Yeah. So I'm not going to give you. I'm not going to give you advice on a blind bet. Only baseball game going on right now. The Brewers putting the finishing touches on the Colorado Rockies. That one in the bottom of the 6th inning. The NL West is really good, except for the Colorado Rockies. They stink. 10-2 the score. Brewers with the lead right now over the Rockies there in Denver. All right, we'll put a bow on the show. We'll revisit our favorite plays for the Masters before we send you on your way. It is VSiN Primetime here on a Wednesday evening. We're live from the Circus Sportsbook.
This is VSiN PrimeTime on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Putting a bow on the show, and we're going to have a special guest for you here to close things out. That's Jonathan Von Tobel. I'm Tim Murray. The Masters gets underway bright and early tomorrow in Augusta, Georgia, and a gentleman who's up late, and we appreciate him jumping on the show on a busy week. It is the one and only Steve Sands from the Golf Channel. Mr. Sands, it's a busy time down there. I heard through the grapevine you had a pretty good lunch a couple days ago. Mr. Van Pelt was talking about on his podcast. So, I appreciate you giving us the time here on this Wednesday evening.
Anytime you can have lunch with Scott Van Pelt, and anytime you can get a free lunch at Augusta, you take it. Come on.
Do they have to be the sandwiches?
No, you can get whatever you want. But if you don't get the grilled cheese with bacon on it, then that's your loss, not mine.
Grilled cheese. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a little
grilled cheese with bacon at Augusta National is to die for, man. It is so good.
How many? By the way, we're going to get into your plays, and we're going to talk about our best bets. We're going to kind of incorporate here. But how many Masters is this for you, Steve?
It's 22.
Wow, man! Does it ever get old?
No, it does. No, it does not get old. I love it. It's great. I'm honored to be here. It's a lot of fun. But it's kind of like, your guys' hometown in Vegas. When you come to visit, it's great. And then you feel like you've been hit by a bus after a few days and you need to get home. And Augusta's kind of the same way, but in a different way. You're not out there partying and staying up all night with all your bozo friends. But after being here for the week, you're ready to go. But it's an honor to be here. I love it, and it's a fun event.
Especially when dopes like me call you and say, "Hey, can you come on my radio show at 10:45 before round one starts?" At what time What time's Golf Channel giving you the wake up call? You going to be up at like 5 a.m. or something crazy?
I wish it was 5 a.m. The alarm will go off at 4:40 a.m.
Oh,
and by the way,
why are you even on with me?
Anything for you. Because I love you. You're a dear friend, and I think you're great, and I will do anything for you. Don't be silly.
All right, let's get some winners here, Steve, because I know you got to get to bed, and we actually have to sign off here. So let's do it. I want to start with Rory. There's a lot of buzz this week. Speaking of Van Pelt, he was on with me on Sunday. He felt like this is the week that it could happen. I know we've been saying that for a decade, but how does Rory look down there, and are you buying that this could be finally the time that Rory McIlroy puts on that green jacket?
I agree with Scott. We talked about it at lunch. It's scary that we both like a little bit of chalk when you know darn well that both of us do not ever play the chalk. But I really think McIlroy is coming in here with his best opportunity to win the Masters. He's won twice already this season, Tim. The other guys around him aren't exactly razor sharp at the top of the official world golf ranking. And I think sometimes in sports, it's just your time. And I think it's his time. I think he's learned. I think he's going to come in with a different game plan. And I think he's going to implement that game plan. And I think he's going to get to the finish line on Sunday and complete the career Grand Slam.
When you look at this overall, Steve, because you mentioned maybe some fragility at the top for some guys, how far down are you willing to go on an odds board in a tournament that has so much familiarity in course history?
Oh, I got money on Joaquin Niemann.
Okay.
I got money on Russell Henley. I got money on Sepp Straka. I think that, there's going to be Bryson and Colin Morikawa and Scotty and Rory, but I also think you can go, relatively deep. The difference between this event and the other majors is that only 35 or 40 guys can win. They're 95 in the field. You can basically slice that in half. And I think that, random winners don't happen very often here. I wouldn't go too deep on the board, but I would take it down to the Chilean Joaquin Niemann. I think he's got an excellent chance to slip on a green jacket on Sunday.
Joaquin right now 35-1 at DraftKings. I want to circle back to a name that you mentioned, and Wes Reynolds has put in I think top 40 on Sepp Straka. Matt Brown from the Long Shots podcast put in a 75-1 ticket on Sepp Straka. SVP on my show Sunday like Sepp Straka. You like him as well. What is it about Sepp Straka this week that is drawing this much interest, Steve?
It's a great ball striker, Tim. And this golf course is a second shot iron player type of golf course. I know the putting is a huge thing, and I know the driver is a huge thing. But more than anything, it's strokes gained tee to green. It's strokes gained on those second shots. It's how you handle, those second shots to be able to put yourself in position to either make a run at a birdie or, and this is the big or, take your par, man. Take your medicine at this golf course. Don't make a big number. And I think that Sepp Straka is the kind of guy who does not make a lot of big numbers. He's got a win already this season, and he's been trending in the right direction as far as playing in these big events. And I think that Sepp Straka could be a guy from, a little bit off the pace who could handle the heat of the Masters, and I think he's going to put himself in contention to get a win here. I don't think he's going to get it done at the end of the day, but I do think he's going to put himself in contention and give himself a chance.
Any guys that you are willing to actively fade or would just say, stay away?
Oh, who would I fade this week? I'm not in love with Ludwig Oberg this week. I mean, he's a great kid. I love the guy as a person. I don't love the way he's playing, and I think he's going to be favored over a lot of guys. I'd be real curious to know what Max Homa's numbers are and who he's matched up with. Max Homa, I love him. He's a great guy, but he's really struggled, and he's a big, big name. And you guys know how the odds work. It's the public wants to go one way, you want to go the other, and the public will always go with Max Homa because he's Max Homa. And if he's matched up with somebody, I would probably fade him as well.
How much does a caddy change like Homa just went through? It's spent days before, right? How much does that matter?
It matters. I think it would matter more if he was a great player who was playing well at the time. He's a great player who's not playing well at all right now. So I don't think it's going to matter much for Max. Ironically, Max's old caddy, Joe Griner, is caddying for Justin Thomas this week because Justin Thomas's caddy, Matt Minister, hurt his back on Monday. So caddy changes can work in both directions. In Max's case, I don't think it's going to matter much. In Justin's case, I think Joe Griner could actually help Justin Thomas. Matt Minister, Revy is his nickname, is a terrific caddy. He and Justin Thomas get along great. There's no angst there at all. He just has a bad back, so Joe Griner's going to fill in for him. And Joe Griner's an outstanding caddy. They tied for third last year, Max Homa did, here at the Masters. So Joe Griner knows this golf course. I think Joe Griner's going to help Justin Thomas this week.
All right, Scott, final one for me before Scott, excuse me, wow. Steve.
Before we SVP on the brain, huh?
Before we let you run.
I'm 5'11". I'm 5'11" with a little bit of hair. He's 6'6" with no hair. Come on.
Yeah, the hairline, I apologize. Much better for you. All right, before I let you run, the reason I had Scott on the brain is because I was going to ask you about Scotty Scheffler. So Scotty Scheffler, the numbers are outrageous, 4-1 to win, -120, top 5. How does he look? What do we expect from the defending champ?
Oh, man, he's just so steady. He's so good. I know he's not razor sharp coming in here. I realize he hasn't won yet on the PGA Tour, but he knows this place so well. The familiarity and the comfort level that he has is pretty much unmatched with anybody else in the field who currently has a shot at winning. And, I wouldn't look at his past form as a negative right now. He's playing better. He had a good finish a couple weeks ago in Houston. He's been working and gearing towards this week. And I think Scotty certainly is someone who you could take a nibble on. And certainly I think he's going to be there on the weekend. If it's his time again, we'll see. But I think Scotty's going to play very, very well. I think it's a Scotty and Rory show, perhaps. That would be awesome. Get
that beauty rest, Steve. You're the man. Appreciate you jumping on.
Anytime, fellas, anytime.
There is Steve Sands from the Golf Channel. Hey, just a reminder, our best bets are always brought to you by G-Bank, the official bank of VSiN, and they're up in the ante with up to a $750 bonus for new G-Bank Visa Signature Card customers. First, new customers who spend $1,000 on eligible purchases within 90 days from account opening receive a $250 bonus. In addition, if you spend $50,000 on gaming and sports app loads within 30 days of account opening, you'll receive another $500 bonus. Apply now, vsin.com. VSiN.com/GBank, VSIN.com/GBank. JVT, I'll roll through my bets right here. Max Homa to miss the cut. Colin Morikawa outright, 16-1, plus Morikawa top 10. Rory outright. Rory top 5. Rory top 10. And you heard Steve talk about it. Sepp Straka top 40. And my long bomb would be Straka outright at 75-1. What do you got, sir?
All right, Justin Thomas, Tommy Fleetwood, Hideki Matsuyama, all among the bets that I have for the Masters and this Kings game. Let's go, Sacramento.
Follow him on Twitter, at @MeJVT. I'm at 1. Tim Murray, that has been VSiN Primetime. Joe Soralo's got you next right here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.